and welcome again to the Badhumanist look at the Assassination Rogue. So we're going to take a look here at Assassination for BfA Beta. Again, I like to preface this with I am not an expert Rogue player. I've played some Rogue. I've never played Assassination actually. I've only played Sub and Outlaw or Combat in the past. This is my first real time taking a look here at Assassination. So today we're going to go over the passives and the abilities, and kind of go through what the toolkit is that the Assassination Rogue has. We're going to look at the talents, what kind of synergy they might have, usefulness, are they fun, how do they look. I'll talk a little bit about damage, but again, damage is very subjective at this point in time. Things have not been finely tuned. I can say that most combinations that I found were within a couple hundred DPS from one another, so again, not too much variation across the talent sets that I tried out. And then we're going to wrap up with my overall thoughts and maybe some hope for the future as far as things that they might want to do to make this spec a bit more fun and engaging. So let's start with our passives here. So the first passive we have is Venomous Wounds. So you regain 7 energy each time the Garrote or Rupture to deal bleed damage to a poison target. So again, if your target is poisoned, which again it always should be, whenever those ticks go off, you get back energy. Now, it should be noted that both poisons and bleeds now scale with haste. And I'll actually show you that in a little bit here what I mean. So the duration does not change, but the number of ticks in that amount of time does go up. So by doing so, by increasing or really decreasing the tick time, you're going to be increasing your energy. So not only does haste give you that kind of passive energy, you're going to get more energy from any time your bleeds are dealing damage to a poison target. It also says that enemy dies, while affected by your Rupture, you regain energy based on the remaining duration. So again, if an enemy dies and you have a Rupture on it, you'll get back some of that energy depending on what percentage it's there. Seal Fate, when you critically strike with a melee attack that generates combo points, you gain an additional combo point per critical strike. Now what this means is that if you're AoEing and you get multiple crits, you do get multiple combo points. For each attack that crits, you get a combo point. So that's definitely going to give some crit synergy that I'll talk about later. Your mastery here is Potent Assassin to increase the damage done by your poisons and bleeds. So it's nice that it's both poisons and bleeds, but previously I believe it was just nature poison damage, so your bleeds didn't scale that well. Now they both scale together. That's very, very nice. Fleet-footed, your moves increase 50%, reduce falling damage. So again, same thing as we saw with the Outlaw Rogue. Going through our abilities, so the first thing here is Vendetta. It is a 2-minute cooldown. It marks the enemy for death for 20 seconds, increasing the damage your abilities and auto attack deal by 30%, making the target visible. It also generates 60 energy over 3 seconds. Because of this, I don't think you're actually going to be using it off pull. I think you're going to wait, get a bit into your rotation, get down on energy, and then use it. Probably right before or right after your first finisher. Again, you want to actually gain that energy back. If you use it on pull, you're going to be wasting that part of it. So again, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that you'll be using it a bit into the rotation. It should be noted as well that, again, it is on the GCD. Vanish, 2-minute cooldown, not on the GCD, does the same things as before. Tricks is still there. Stealth, of course, is still here. Sprint, 1-minute cooldown, not on GCD. Shroud, still here, 6-minute cooldown in Stealth. You get Shadow Step, again, we've all seen Shadow Step before. Click the button, poof behind the target. Very nice. Very roguey, right? Sep, same things before. Rupture, again, is a finisher that deals bleed damage over time. It lasts longer per combo point. So here's what I'm going to show you what I mean by haste effect on the damage here. So let me get rid of these sounds I don't have. So Rupture here, again, you look at 5 combo points in the tooltip over there in the bottom right. You see about 5,500, right, over 24 seconds. You can look at Garrote. Garrote's doing about 4,000 bleed damage over 18 seconds. Now, when I hit Berserking, which again is going to give me 20% haste, look how those on the tooltip numbers change. So again, my Garrote now goes to 4734, and my Rupture is going up to 6582. So as you can see, it is increasing the damage without decreasing any of the time. So again, that's how you can see that these things are scaling with haste. They're going to work just like dots, like a Shadow Priest dots work, or a Warlock's dot work, where the more haste you have, the faster they tick, but they don't decrease the duration, which is very nice. Poisons, again, you have your poisons, deadly, wound, and crippling. Poison Knife, again, allows you to throw your poison to another target. Very nice. Pickpocket, still there. Lockpick, still there. Mutilate, main builder. Attacks with both weapons, dealing a total of X physical damage. Mark for Death is a talent that I'll talk about here in a second. Kidney Shot, same as before, 2-second cooldown. It's a stun based on combo. Kick. Garrote. Garrote's not going to be part of your rotation. So again, it causes around, like I said, 4,000 bleed damage over 18 seconds. Sounds the target for 3 seconds when used from stealth. It should be noted, and I'll talk about it a bit more, maybe in the rotation portion, but Garrote, even at 6 seconds, right, the amount of damage a Garrote does over 6 seconds with my current gear level, haste, everything, again, I'm only at 110. Who knows the skills the same way at 120, but currently, in this current iteration that I'm at right now, 6 seconds of Garrote does more damage than a Mutilate does. Okay, so it costs 45 energy instead of 50 base, and again, even over that 6-second cooldown. So if you're just using it off cooldown, you'll be getting more damage out of that than you would have hitting a Garrote. Now, of course, you get even more damage if you let it tick for longer, but it should be noted that you can hit it a bit early and refresh it, and you're not losing too much out there as opposed to just hitting a Mutilate in those cases. Again, it only gains 1 combo point. Mutilate gains 2. Fan of Knives still here. Awards a combo point. Spray of Knives, we all know this. Evasion, 2-minute cooldown. Again, this is off the GTD, as you can see. Envenom, another finisher here. So again, it deals instant nature damage and increases your poison application chance by 30%. So again, it increases the chance again. So for deadly, it's going to increase the chance for those extra applications to do that instant damage, which is nice. Distract, still here. Crimson Vial is still here, baseline, 30-second cooldown. Cloak of Shadows, again, still there, 2-minute cooldown, also off the GCD. Cheap Shot, requires stealth, blind, 2-minute cooldown, interrupt. Okay. Let's look at talents now. So first row, we have Master Poisoner, increases the damage done by your weapon poisons by 30% and their non-damaging effect by 20%. This is a fine talent. Again, it's going to increase the damage of your poisons. So again, those instant procs off of Venom, as well as the natural damage that it does, will be increased. It's very nice, good passive. Elaborate Planning, finishing moves grant 10% increased damage for 4 seconds. Again, kind of passive. When you finish, increase your damage for 4 seconds by 10%. Blindside, exploits the vulnerability of the foes with less than 30% health, dealing X damage to the target. Now, Mutilate has a chance to make the next one free and usable on any target, regardless of their health. Blindside is the talent I like the most. I'm not going to say it's doing the most damage. It's very possible in some builds that Master Poisoner can be the best. I don't think Elaborate Planning currently has enough either duration or increase in damage to really make up for either the other two. But Blindside's fun. It gives you that proc. You can hit that proc. It's free. It's nice. You're kind of evening out your combo points as well. Sometimes you don't want to use a Mutilate to gain 2. You only need 1 combo point. Having that Blindside proc is very nice. And again, it does more damage than a Mutilate does. It should be noted that a Blindside does more damage than a Mutilate does. So under 30% health, you'll probably be using Blindside a bit more because, again, it can kind of help you get to those finishers quicker. Again, because it costs less energy, only 30 compared to 50, and it does do more damage. But again, it only gives you 1 combo point, not 2. So again, we'll have to see under 30 what the rotation would actually be like. Next row, Night Stalker. Again, while stealth is active, you move faster, your abilities deal more damage. Subterfuge, your abilities requiring stealth can be used for seconds after, and also Garrote deals 100% increased damage and have no cooldown when used from stealth and for 3 seconds after breaking stealth. So when you're in stealth and once you break stealth, you can Garrote like crazy. Master Assassin, while stealth is active and for 3 seconds after breaking it, your crit strike chance is 50%. Now for a standard PvE, either Mythic Plus or for rating, I honestly have no idea which one of these is going to be best. Master Assassin, I think, is going to be good. Obviously, Night Stalker could be only really increases your first damage out of stealth, and you don't really have a really big hitting ability. You have Garrote, which again would increase the damage of Garrote by 50%, which could be nice. Subterfuge, I'll talk about later, might work out nicely in a certain kind of build for like Mythic Plus type dungeons that I'll speak about a bit later. Again, Master Assassin, I think, is going to be the one best. Again, you can vanish every 2 minutes, so you can regain stealth and kind of get out of stealth, so you can gain some extra crit chance. Again, crit does give you the chance for extra combo points. So there's some synergy there. Again, I honestly have no idea. This Sims will tell us what talent in this row will win out. 45 row, we have Vigor, DS, and Mark for Death. Also, this is the one where I have no idea what the Sims are going to have it be best. When I did my rotation testing, they all were about equal. I couldn't really tell a difference. I will say that I like Mark for Death a little bit better in Assassination than I did in Outlaw, because getting those combos just quickly and being able to use your finishers, I think it's just more valuable than it is in Outlaw. Outlaw didn't really have a problem building up. Energy wasn't really an issue as much as it is here. So Mark for that could be very good. Again, on any time when you can obviously proc that reset, it gains even more value. So again, Mythic Plus situations like that, it definitely gains even more value than it would in a raid setting without that ability to reset even every 30 seconds. It's pretty good. It is an extra button to hit, which maybe might play into some of the ability to maximize it, but we'll have to see. DS, again, maximum 6 combo points. Your finishing moves consume up to 6 to increase the duration, as well as all of your finishing moves just do a flat more damage. This is strong too. Finishing moves are a big part of your overall damage. I did find that the lack of energy regen you don't get from Vigor and the lack of ability to kind of get those 5 real quickly, I think kind of hurt a little bit. I personally currently think Vigor might be a little bit better, but I could be very, very wrong. So again, DS might be better. Again, it does help increase the duration, which means you're hitting in Venom more, because again, your Rupture, or if you took some other finisher like Crimson Tempest, they last longer. So again, you're not hitting those as frequently. So again, it allows you to get more Envenoms in, and again, the Envenoms are going to be doing more damage. So again, DS could actually be the better talent. I'm not sure. Vigor, excuse me, increases your maximum energy by 50%. Sorry, by 50, not 50%. Your energy by 50, and your energy regeneration by 10%. I like this one the best personally from a playstyle perspective. Again, I can't comment on whether it's going to be the best for DPS, and we all know we're just going to do what's best for DPS, but from a playstyle, I like the extra energy. The fact that Mutilate is so expensive, it really helped. I felt like it helped smoothen out the kind of rotation, it helped make it feel a bit more engaging. You're not waiting around as long as you were with the other two, but yeah, I liked Vigor a good bit. 60 row, you have Cheat Death. Again, it's Cheat Death. Elusiveness, same as before. Leeching Poison. Again, this is like pick your own poison here. No pun intended. Cheat Death, I think, is also really strong, but the other two also could have their value as well. 75 row. Okay, this is kind of interesting for Assassination. So we have Prey of the Weak on the weak. Same thing we saw with Outlaw. Enemies disabled by your Cheap Shot or Kidney Shot take 10% increased damage from all sources. Again, that can be very valuable in cases where you can get these stuns off or disable your targets. So again, Mythic Pluses, adds, those kind of things, because everybody does 10% increased damage to them. Very nice. Iron Wire increases the duration of Garrote's silence to 8 seconds from 3 seconds, and enemy silence deal 50% reduced damage for 8 seconds. So again, if they are silenced, they do less damage for that period of time as well. Internal Bleeding. Okay, so this one basically adds a bleed onto Kidney Shot. Now, it should be noted that this does not work on raid bosses. I tested it out, does not work. It will work, however, on, like for here, like the dungeon dummy, it does work there. So again, we'll have to see what kind of targets we get the bleed off or not. It does look like if you can't stun them, you cannot put the bleed on. So any target that would be immune to the stun seems to be immune to the damaging as well. That being said, in Mythic Plus or places where you can stun, this could be very valuable again with some other talents that I will talk about here in a second. 90 row, we have Venom Rush. Mutilate refunds 5 energy when used against a poisoned target. This basically means that Mutilate will cost 50, but you basically get 5 back. So it's an effective 45 cost. It should be noted, though, you still need 50 to spend it. Okay, so again, a Garrote will be able to be used quicker, because again, the second you get 45 energy, you can use Garrote. You have to wait to 50 energy to get the Mutilate, but again, you'll get that 5 back afterwards. And again, your target should always be poisoned. Toxic Blade. Stab your enemy with a Toxic Poison Blade, dealing X nature damage. Your nature damage done against the target is increased by 30% for 9 seconds. Awards 1 combo point, 25-second cooldown, as I mentioned. This can be nice, again, especially with things like Poison Bomb, and again, with something like Master Poisoner, those things will increase, because again, they're both nature damage. I did find this was actually very engaging. Again, it's an extra button to hit for 25 seconds. You can kind of play with it, because you know you want to use it around a Envenom, because again, it will increase the damage of your next Envenom, so again, you can kind of play with it a little bit to kind of min-max it. Found that to be very fun and engaging. It did help increase my DPS over Venom Rush, I found, for the most part. So yeah. Last one here. So Incendiate, cannot pronounce that correctly, but anyway, 25 energy, 45-second cooldown. You twist your blades into the target's wounds, causing your bleed effects on them to bleed out faster. So again, This doesn't tick faster. This literally means that the duration is cut in half, but you get twice as many. So what you'll find basically is that it just reduces the overall time that they're on the target. So it's increasing the DPS, but again, it doesn't seem to be increasing the overall damage of the ability. But again, it does increase your DPS on them. So they basically just are ticking twice as fast, but therefore also cutting the duration in half. This is a high management ability. Again, it definitely obviously works with things like internal bleeding. It works with things like Crimson Tempest. Of course, it also works with Garrote and Rupture. I'll note to talk a bit about a build that might be really good for getting that really fast ticking damage out, but I'll talk about that when I get to Crimson Tempest because it involves that ability. 100 row, Poison Bomb. It's Poison Bomb. Your Envenom and Rupture have a 4% chance per combo point spent to smash a vial of poison on the target's location. Create a pool, lasts for 2 seconds. Again, this is nature damage, so it does get buffed by something like Toxic Blade. It's a random chance, right? I had times when it was unlucky and times when I got lucky. So just like on live, Poison Bomb's going to be a bit of a random thing to deal with. Hidden Blades. Now this is a fascinating talent. Let me go ahead and actually switch to it here. Okay, so Hidden Blades, if you can see here, is a just stacking buff that happens passively, where your next Phantom 9 deals increasing damage every 2 seconds, and it stacks up to 20. So again, you end up with 400%. So here's what I have to say about this. At 8 stacks of this, your Fan of Knives will do more target to a single target. So it will do more damage to a single target than a Mutilate would do. Okay, so again, 8 stacks, you get more. Now, because of the way it scales, 16 is not double. So it does seem as if you want to be using this to maximize it at around 8 to 10 stacks. At around 8 to 10 stacks, you'll be able to have a Fan of Knives that generates a combo point that will do more damage than a Mutilate. So again, especially in cases where, again, you don't need 2 combo points, the Fan of Knives is going to be very useful there. It basically puts Fan of Knives into your single target rotation. It also, of course, allows you to stack up to 400%, which makes Fan of Knives do a lot of damage here. Again, you see it's like 2,000, so it can almost double that of a Mutilate. So again, I'm sure that Sims will eventually tell us exactly how many stacks we should be using Fan of Knives with if we end up taking this talent. But I think it's a very interesting and engaging thing where every once in a while, Fan of Knives will actually become part of your single target rotation. Of course, it also can help in cases where you know that there's going to be an ad coming out. So for example, Poison Bomb being random, if there's a bunch of pack of ads that are coming out at a certain time, and you know that, and you need to kill them quickly, Hidden Blades might be a better option to go with. Of course, Crimson Tempest is also going to be a choice, because Poison Bomb's just random, right? You know, in a constant situation, Poison Bomb I think will be better DPS-wise than Hidden Blades if you're consistently fighting AoE targets. But if there's only like 3 or 4 times in a fight where ads come out in pretty decent chunks, Hidden Blades, again, I think will be valuable. Because again, Phantom Knives does still spread all of your poisons to those targets. So again, very interesting talent. The last one here in the row is, again, Crimson Tempest. Let me go ahead and actually switch to that. I'm going to switch to Incendiate as well as this. And let's actually switch to that as well. So, Crimson Tempest is a finisher that slashes all enemies within 10 yards, dealing instant damage and causing the victims to bleed for an additional damage, and it lasts longer per combo point. So at 5 combo points, it does 840 damage plus 2404 bleeding over 12 seconds. Now, this is an AoE ability. It will hit multiple targets at once. So, for example here, and again, I doubt I'm going to be able to pull this off, but I'm going to try my best to do so. But here I am stealth. Alright, so I can garrote, right? I can build up a little bit. I can use that, and then I can accentuate, and now all the targets have this really fast ticking bleeds on them. So again, very, very nice there. So again, maybe this is something that would work out. Again, I could have technically kidney shot it as well to help that bleed as well. But again, that could be a very strong, over a short period of time, damage. I would believe in AoE situations, Crimson Tempest might be the best one to go to, like Mythic Plus, because it's going to be your best finisher on multi-targets, right? When multi-targets are out, your other two finishers, Rupture and Envenom, again, are only really going to hit the one target. Now, again, if you took Poison Bomb, there's a chance, again, that they might drop off the Poison Bomb to be able to do AoE damage, but I do think Crimson Tempest, it's very strong. It doesn't last very long, so you're not worried about wasting damage because the targets are going to be dying too quickly. It only lasts 12 seconds. Again, with Incendiate, it's only going to last for 6 seconds while doing, again, its same kind of damage over that rate. So, again, this could be a combination, again, that works out well. I'm not quite sure. So let me go ahead and switch to what I found actually to be most enjoyable for more of a single target type approach here. So we take Blindside. I'll just take this because I don't know. Take that. Go back to here. Go back to here. Yeah, let's go back to there. Now again, Poison Bomb or Hidden Blades, I don't really know which one's going to be best for a pure single target. We'll have to find out. I will say, however, that I found that on a single target, these two talents just add to the layer of juggling, and I wasn't good at it. I'm not going to say that it's not going to be good. I'm sure better players will be able to do it better than I could do it, but I struggled. Now, even with my struggling, it was pretty competitive damage-wise. So again, maybe if you're min-maxing it and you're, crushing it, you'll do better with that kind of build. But yes, again, it could be possible, by the way, with this build that Master Poisoner is better. I just really like Blindside. I think it's fun. All right, so let's go ahead and, again, get Garrode up, get some going. Going to Rupture. Let's Vendetta there. And then here we go. There's a Blindside proc. And so yeah, this is basically you're mutilating. Again, you're envenoming. Again, you're garroting to kind of keep up garrote. Again, I would probably, if I was playing this on live, be having some weak auras to help me track some of these things. Right now I'm just tracking it off the debuff window, which might not be the best. Let me move over that. So let me get that on there. But yeah, so this is basically what you're dealing with. Again, you have your 25-second cooldown there on Master Poisoner. You're going to be garroting to keep that up, rupturing, keep that up. Every once in a while you get a nice Blindside proc, which is nice. But yeah, so this is about it. Again, you can see my horrible rotation there on the left-hand side. Again, this is by no means ideal. Let me put that out there. There's a Poison Bomb proc. But that's the basic idea here. So again, you can see over there on the left. Again, that's by no means perfect. But again, that's basically what you're going to be doing. Something like you will be more than likely garroting to open. Again, I could be wrong, but that's my expect. Shadow Step to garrote, to get that bleed going, to get that energy focus back with the poison target. You're going to mutilate. When you get low on energy, you're probably going to Vendetta. You would then probably use your Rupture. It might be possible you would actually Rupture, then Vendetta. Again, I won't be entirely sure. You want to get that Rupture up, however. Build up, and then you Envenom. Every other time, again, you kind of keep Garrode up as much as possible. I also use Garrode to kind of, again, fill in those places where I only need one combo point to not waste a double combo point and mutilate. So again, you Garrode in those situations. Because again, if you're refreshing it before the 18 seconds, that's okay. Again, you want to keep Rupture up. Again, it's going to Pandemic about every 8 seconds. So again, anything 8 or less will allow you to Pandemic it. So you add that duration on to the next application. Again, every 25 seconds you can Toxic Blade in this build, which again, you would ideally want to be making sure you're using it when you're getting as many Envenoms as possible. So you probably want to have Rupture pretty long in duration. That way you can Toxic Blade and maybe get 2 Envenoms out in that 9-second window, which would be really nice. Again, if you get lucky and a Poison Bomb goes off in that window as well, that will of course be increased as well. As I mentioned, again, Master Poisoner might actually work out better than Blindside in this situation. We'll have to see the value of Blindside in that execute window to see what the case is going to be. That's probably going to be the trade-off, or the reasoning is that if this is really strong in that sub 30, it might be better. If not, Master Poisoner I could see better with a combination like this. Like I said, it could be possible that you're going for more of a bleed build possibly here as well. Again, internal bleeding as well, maybe for some 5-man stuff. We'll have to see, because Prayer of the Week is helpful in 5-man as well. So again, Let's talk now about stats and how the stats are going to maybe work out here. The nice thing again is that all stats have some kind of integration. Crit obviously gives you more combo points, right? So again, the more crit you have, the more combo points you're getting off of all your abilities. Because if an ability crits, you get more combo points. Haste, again, this is going to help increase the tick speed of both your poisons and your bleeds. As you can see, it directly increases the damage of your bleed abilities. So again, you're going to get good scaling out of haste there. Versatility increases all your damage and healing done by a certain percent. Mastery, again, increases the damage of your poison and bleeds. And if you think about it, a good chunk, so I actually find like a good, I guess it's fine, a good rotation. If you look here, Envenom was my number 1. Damage Rupture was my number 2. Garrote was my number 3. Deadly Poison was my 4. So again, bleed, poison, right, are all there. Deadly Poison, again, there as well. I'm not sure if Poison Bomb counts in the Mastery or not. But yeah, you can see that a good chunk of your damage is going to be coming from poisons and bleeds. So yes, you're going to be getting some good value out of your Mastery. So again, I cannot say what the stat priority is going to be, because they all have good values. It's probably going to depend upon the overall scaling of the stats, right? How many percent you get per value on your gear. Again, if you want to think more about the gearing stuff, you can check out my video I did on the secondary stats scaling and how that's going to be different in BfA and how that might affect the way the classes end up working. But yeah, so that is my overview on the Assassination Rogue. My hopes for the future for this spec are, in general, I think it's fun. Again, I've never playing Assassination before. I thought it was pretty engaging. It can be a lot of buttons. Again, if you're using things like Mark for Death and Sanjay, if you went all down this row, there are a lot of buttons to hit, a lot of things to keep up, a lot of things to keep track of. If you like that, you can definitely do it. I really like Blindside as a talent. I like the fact that you get to kind of react to that proc. I think it helps smooth out the rotation a little bit here. I find elaborate planning boring. Master Poisoner could be strong, but also boring. Again, the 45 row is going to have a big play on the way that the game style goes. I personally like Vigor, but it could easily happen that either the other two could be better or stronger. Internal bleeding, I think, makes it for a very engaging thing in like a 5-minute situation. To be able to do that damage over 6 seconds, it's very, very strong, a lot of damage. And again, the fact that it can be buffed by something like Incendiate could definitely make that a very strong talent for 5-mans. Toxic Blade, I think, does help the synergy with your nature damage increase. Venom Rush, I think, is just kind of boring. It's fine, but I find it boring. Overall, fun, engaging spec. We're going to have to see how the talents lay out to see a true sense of how the spec's going to play, but it has a good toolkit. I think that the toolkit in general is there. It doesn't feel like it's missing anything. It doesn't feel broken. You have enough buttons to hit if you want to hit them. So I really do think it's going to be a fun, engaging spec. We'll have to see, of course, how the damage scaling works out. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you guys in my next video.